Hey guys, welcome back to Doomsplay. Today we're just going to do a raid together. Mainly wanted to do some raids just to kind of track my progress, see how everything goes. So let's just jump right into it, why don't we? Alright, Brainiac Collector of Worlds has begun. So we're going to start with some Gorilla Grodd. I usually fight Grodd about twice. Got some good tech teams. Going to keep this one pretty much the same, except Power Girl instead of John Stewart Green Lantern. And jumping right in there, I noticed this tag says lethal damage increase will increase the percentage of damage that a lethal attack deals. I don't know of any cards right now that have lethal damage increase, so I wonder if that's a harbinger of things to come. That would be pretty cool. I really like lethal. You can see a couple lethals popping up with that Batman attack, the Nightmare Batman specifically. His lethal's about, 30 or 40%, I think. But I'm just going to tag back and forth between these two Batmen. I'm really trying to get a good combo up high, and then I'm going to use the super, and that'll also give. There we go. I'm also going to give a little bit of damage boost for the remainder of the battle. For raids, I do like to use the supers for good cards early, just because they do deal that extra so much percent damage on all of their attacks. So usually I try to start with getting a combo up. At least with this team, I'll get a combo up, use a super, and then just use the abilities 2 and 3 for the rest of the game, at least until time runs out or I get knocked out. All right, so I think you guys kind of get the idea. There's Batman's Arkham Knight Batman's super, so both of them have the bonus damage increase now for the remainder of the battle. So we're just going to kind of keep tagging back and forth, and let's see if we can keep these combos coming too. Luckily, I was able to get decently high combo for both of their supers, so that should be a good amount of damage. But like I said, each one of these guys has a pretty good ability 3, so we'll just kind of go back and forth between them. Since Grodd has his super loaded up, let's just sacrifice the Power Girl since she's not nearly as strong as the two Batmen, and really she's only on the team for that decrease of power on ability uses. So, tagging back and forth between my two best Batman cards, different ability 3s that look pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know how anyone feels about Nightmare Batman. I always avoid him in the arena when I see him. It's just not fun to play when you're reflecting all the damage back on yourself. I didn't go for the build where he's got insane health so that he can just take damage forever and reflect a bunch of damage forever. Instead, I opted for a little bit more attack-heavy Nightmare Batman. That's just because of the plus 15% he gets from the gear bonus on attack. So I really wanted to kind of start moving towards a really attack-heavy Batman, whereas my Arkham Knight Batman's a little bit more utility. He's got great defense and a good amount of health, and then just kind of decent stats all around, but nothing specifically heavy. Whereas Nightmare is definitely attack-heavy for me. So if there are any ability uses from Grodd, I'm definitely going to try to soak them up with Arkham Knight just to kind of preserve being able to tag back and forth for the entire match. Here we go. We're coming up on the 30-second remaining mark. Things are starting to get a little bit more dicey, and Grodd has to run backwards to get a run and start in charging me, which is totally fine. I'm okay with not taking very much damage for those. But again, like I said, I would prefer that I'm soaking up the Grodd's abilities with Arkham Knight Batman just because he's got a much higher defense stat. So there we go. That was a little sloppy on my end, but we're really close to running out of time and just getting knocked around a little bit now. And that's it for my first pip of the day. So looking at a little bit over 500,000 damage. That's not bad. I'm comfortable with that. That's a good day. We're going to jump back into another Grodd fight, I think. So my go-to arena team certainly is like a Justice League basic attack team. They usually put up pretty good numbers against Grodd as well. The thing I always tend to forget is when you're fighting Grodd, he tags out immediately for his minions to take over fighting for him. And that's something that he doesn't have the opportunity to do when you have Nightmare Batman, since he starts off ambushed. So sometimes I forget that I need to start off the second fight with holding down the block button so that you don't get hit by the tag attack. but I was able to remember here. So we're going to have kind of a similar strategy in that we're just trying to build up our combo meter, and then we're going to do a super. I do usually try to err on using my super early, even if that means that I don't have a very good combo moving. And that's just because of what I was just talking about, in that you get a little bit extra damage for all of your attacks. So certainly with Cyborg on the team, the extra percentage of damage, I think it's 25% for 4-star cards. I might be wrong. It might be more or less, but that amount of damage is definitely not insignificant. So it's good to try to get your combo up pretty high before you do your super. Do your super early, and then spend the rest of the match really just trying to get in all the damage you can. So this one's going okay. Grodd hasn't done any unblockable attacks yet to really disrupt my combo pieces. So let's just see if we can keep up these decently high combos. There we go for Cyborg. 60 is definitely not bad at all. I'm happy with that. It's not every day you can get them even over 20 some days. So now we have 2 supers down for Cyborg and Flash. I always save Armored, I always save Aquaman just because he can revive a teammate with his super. Sometimes that comes in handy. Sometimes it's irrelevant and I just want to get the damage, but usually I'll tag back and forth between Flash and Cyborg. But since I'm getting kind of nervous with all the that was not good. So Aquaman has the highest defense, I think, of all 3 of these cards. So it's probably best for him to soak up the super, but oh man, now I'm just in trouble. So I think I just got to use that super for Aquaman, even though all my cards are in the red now. This just had a kind of a nasty turn when Grodd used his super. So I'm just going to get through Aquaman's just to get the damage in. You know, it's unblockable damage, get a little extra buff to damage for the rest of the match. Might as well just keep it coming, but oh no. That was just bad news. 2 cards are going to be down now.
Too bad your mind isn't as fast as your little boots.
And all right, so it's up to Cyborg now. I can still squeeze in a bit of damage. It definitely wasn't worthless. You know, I got 2 big supers off with decent sized percent bonuses. So we'll just try to squeeze in the rest of the damage that we can on this one, and then we'll move on to the third pip. But all in all, I'm not dissatisfied with this. It wasn't a wasted pip in any way. Still got a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that's fought Grodd, so getting him down that far, at least on my league, I'm happy with that. It's a good day. So I contributed. All right. Let's see what kind of numbers we're looking at. 715. All right, pretty good. All right, a little bit of extra help from my league. We'll move on through. We'll go to use our third pip now. I think that's enough of Grodd. We gave him enough of a tough day. So let's just peek at what the leaderboard's looking like. It's only been 3 of us that just got started. As you know, we just started this raid, so everyone will have the opportunity to kind of get through everything. But we're going to do some horrific Scarecrow, and I think when you're fighting Scarecrow, Energized Starfire is pretty huge. So I usually like to build her on a team with a pretty tanky card like Armored Superman, and then Powered Supergirl has some pretty good attack here. So since you're not in control of Tag Out, I do kind of like having a tanky card and Energized Starfire, just because the 2 of them can really last through the whole battle. So I'm hoping to make it through the whole thing and get as much damage in as I can. I don't have the same strategy in fighting Scarecrow as I do for Grodd, and that's just because you really have a lot less control over building your combo when you are getting hit with the unblockable crouch attack, of course, but more importantly, when they're tagging out randomly, sometimes you just tag into attacks from your opponent that you don't have any control over. So this match is definitely going to look a little sloppier than the last 2, but I think we can squeeze some good damage in. So it's definitely worth at least showcasing a little bit. And like I said, this is really going to be a tool for me too, to kind of be able to track progress and see how things go. A lot of people have been talking about AI changes lately, so just having the raid AI on record now, we can kind of see how it changes, if it does at all, things like that. So got a first super in there with Powered Supergirl, and of course Superman just comes in for a punch right there. That's kind of funny. But we're really not so concerned with getting our combo meter very high on this. We're really just going to try to squeeze in the damage we can. If you see those little green numbers popping up around Energized Starfire, she's got a passive against Horrific Scarecrow. It lets her gain a little bit of life as we fight. And I'm really just going to try to use my supers immediately as they come out. The sooner the better for this kind of a fight. I really have no control over getting my combo meter high. I don't have those kinds of skills, at least. There probably are people out there who do. But we're just going to kind of, be at the mercy of our tagging game and just try to do our best to recognize the moves that are coming and to play a little bit more defensively than normal, if anything. Horrific Scarecrow is one of my favorite cards in this game, and I think he definitely looks the coolest compared to everybody. When you think of Scarecrow, especially in the comics and stuff, he doesn't look so terrifying, and it's cool that they were able to kind of incorporate some of that terror into the game because that's what his card's all about. That's what his character's all about. So I really look forward to the day when I have a nice, pretty orange glowing Horrific Scarecrow to make my opponents panic. So with Energized Starfire's ultimate, we did gain a little bit of life on both Powered Supergirl and Armored Superman, and that's another great reason to have some tankier character cards lined up with Energized Starfire. They just last so much longer, so Scarecrow's really going to have a hard time getting rid of anybody on this team, but he'll probably be able to pull it off. All right, a little bit of DOT. We're just going to try to sneak in as much damage as possible here at the 30-second mark. So that's, that'll work. There's his super. I think he's probably got one of the coolest supers too. Scarecrow's got to be one of my favorite cards in this game. He's just terrifying. Some more DOT damage over there. Superman's ability 1 is definitely pretty cool for some DOT. He's standing right in that fire too, so that's good with me. Really try to max out that damage that he can take. And with just 6 seconds left, Powered Supergirl's barely in the red. Armored Superman's kind of in the red, but all those cards lasted. It looks like I might need a little bit more of a heavy damage dealer on that fight for next time. So 1.5 million damage. I'm happy with that. That's some good contribution to my league. I don't know how it's going to look next week, how it's going to look, a month from now or so, but we can just kind of keep on coming back and trying it out. So thanks for enjoying this little bit of progress with me. Thanks for checking out my channel. Please like and subscribe. And as always, take care. Enjoy.